indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right. So, start with the roll call. Start with Tracy.
On the left here. Roxanne Tufts-Keegan here.
Tim Cronin here.
Michael Green here.
All right.
So, just one update, I think, on the agenda, is if we can move number 7 up to right now.
What's number 7?
The BOS interim appointment,
Yep.
just so, in order for Bonnie to be able to fill the next one. Oh, 7, 8, 7 and 8? Yes, actually, it's on the right. So have we done the,
So, instead of the approval minutes, we'll do the interim appointment.
so,
The-
oh, go ahead.
No, go
I was
ahead.
gonna make a motion, so but go ahead and explain.
All right, so Scot Ferguson resigned from the board. We need somebody to fill his position. And we met with a couple different people, and we decided to go with Bonnie Gagnon. Bonnie Gagnon. So she will fulfill Scott's term, and then in March, Scott's position will be open.
So I'll make the motion to appoint Bonnie as interim BOS until the March meeting.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So
There we go.
we're gonna give you have you do the oath of office, Bonnie. Tracy McKinney. Tracy administered.
Oh, no, I think he's, someone else should.
Okay, I'll do it, that's fine. Stand up. Raise your hand. I, Bonnie Keegan, do solemnly and sincerely swear
Solemnly and sincerely swear
and affirm that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
impartially discharge
and perform all the duties
the duties
incumbent upon me as Selectman
incumbent upon me as Selectman
of Middleton, New Hampshire,
of Middleton, New Hampshire,
until March election,
of March election,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of this Constitution
of this Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire,
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
so help me God.
So help me God.
This I do under the pains
This I do under the pains
and penalties of perjury.
and penalties of perjury.
Congratulations. So now Bonnie she can actually vote.
Terrific. All right, and you also want to move up number 8,
Yep.
which would be the position, the BOS chair position. Now, I know we heard from legal, and they said that it is up to the board to decide who they would like the chair to be to replace.
We have to vote on it again.
Yeah.
That was their recommend, that was
Right.
what they said, that had to be done again, so.
I have a question.
Sure.
So is there, do we get to discuss it before you vote?
No, it's a board, it's a
Just
board
board
vote.
vote.
It's a board vote. It's a
So,
board
yes.
decision.
All right, so,
Was that?
Darlene Kremen.
No. Was that?
What?
Debate.
Number 8, which
Yes,
is
great.
BOS chair position.
Yeah. Which was Bonnie.
No.
No.
Bonnie was the BOS interim appointment.
Yeah.
And then now we're talking about the BOS chair.
So, does anybody want to make a nomination?
No, that's okay, so I was just saying.
Does anybody want to make a nomination?
Who's interested?
I'm interested. Anybody else interested?
I'll do it if we do.
I was gonna nominate Roxanne only because she's been here for the longest time, but
I thought you were nominating yourself.
I didn't know. Not me.
All right, so, do we have any other nominations? No? Is Roxanne second?
I'll second.
Oh, so you made the nomination? Did you make the?
For you, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we need to nominate the vice chair.
Well, first we have to vote on the chair.
Oh, right, sorry. Thank you.
So, all those in favor?
Aye.
No discussion.
Oh, you want a discussion?
You want a discussion?
Well, are you guys okay with that? I want to hear, because there was a lot of talk about this, so I'd like to hear if there is any discussion.
I'm fine with it, having done it before. I'm in the office every day. So I mean, and it's only until March potentially, because at this point in time, I have not put in to see if I'm going to seek re-election. So I have till Friday of this week.
Do we have any say? No.
Nope.
Can we at least place our food?
What's up?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just regarding, in the over 40 years I've been here, we have never had a chairperson do it in the same round of select people. Everybody has an opportunity to be the chairperson before their term is up. Why we're all of a sudden changing all of that in over 40 years, I don't think that's fair. Not because it's my son, but because we're changing the order of which we've always done. All the selectmen have had this opportunity, unless they leave for some reason, like Scott left.
And why, all of a sudden, has Timmy done something that bad and you guys want him off as a chair? That's kind of what we're looking for.
We're voting on it because that's what legal said we had to do.
Right,
Yes.
you can
Yes.
vote
We did
on it,
not
but-
vote on chair, it was self-appointed before, and we have to vote as a board.
Exactly, but what would be your reason for not wanting somebody who's actually next in line? Why wouldn't
There
you
is no
want
line, we're
to?
a board of 5 now. Our terms are 3 years. Before, it worked as your 3-year board members all alternated. So yeah, you would hope that the person who's coming in at the first year would be chair at their 3rd year, and then
Right.
so forth. I can see how that was a thing, but now with the board of 5, there's no way everybody can be a chair if they're only doing their 3 years.
It still has an order in which they're done. You know, I just don't understand. Roxanne's already been a chair. She's already had her term. Somebody else who has the experience should be taking the chair again, or for the first time. And another question I have any of you in the Board of Selectmen ever gone to a Board of Selectmen class given by the state?
Yes,
When did you go?
it was our first year. We all attended. I attended with Tim.
Yep.
Okay, good, because I never knew of anybody going.
It was
They
made
offered
public
every
that we
year.
all went. It was made public that we all went.
Okay, good. Apparently I missed that.
It was something we had to do right from the beginning.
Good, okay.
Yeah. Any more discussion?
Do you have
All's in
any
favor?
discussion?
Me?
No, Tim.
So, the comment was made that it was self-appointed. It wasn't. I was going under the impression that until we had an election, that the chair stepped in for the vice chair.
For missed meetings, yes, that was the case.
Well, I mean, like I said, I think maybe it was a misunderstanding I had, so I'll go with that.
I'm not saying anything different. I wanted to, last meeting, discuss it, and I thought we would re-vote and it would be a non-issue, but it turned into a huge issue. So we had to reach out to legal.
I agree. I didn't turn into an issue, but it did turn into an issue, so.
But the person with the most experience in being in the select board position is Tim. And yet you're not allowing him, you want to, somebody who's trying to keep things legal, done according to how it should be done.
Well, we're all trying to keep things legal, so. We're all trying to keep things legal. So,
I'm just saying.
all right, so. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna abstain,
Okay.
just.
I'm gonna abstain as well. All right then. So nominations for vice chair. Oh, actually, you know what? Roxanne?
So I'll put it up. So the nomination for vice chair. Anybody interested?
I'll nominate Tim. And the reasoning behind this for me is we're coming into budget season, and this might answer your question as well, and it has nothing to do with Tim. You know, yeah, everyone's got their different opinions and all that stuff. But going into budget season, we lost a selectman going through the busy part of our year where we had to appoint Bonnie. Roxanne has been here for several years, and I think going into that with the support, and not to take any wind away from Tim, but I just think going into this time of the year, going into re-election and everything, I think it would be best that if Roxanne had it, and I would nominate Tim to be the vice president, the vice chair. And then when that comes up, if he wants to rerun for, because my term's up too. I don't know if I'm gonna rerun yet. And come March, you could have a whole new board.
Yeah.
You won't have a whole new board because you've got people that are on 5 board. You're not leaving, right?
Who?
I have another year.
You have another year?
My term is up this year.
When's your turn up?
Next year.
So there's 2.
Yeah.
When is your turn?
My term is up this year.
And when's yours?
Yours is up in March.
So there's only
Yep.
2 of them.
And I'm not saying that I'm not gonna rerun, I just have a lot that I want. My personal life is pretty busy right now. Not to say that I'm not gonna rerun, because I like being on the board, I like representing this town. I've made a lot of friends in this town in the last several years, which is why I wanna continue to do it.
Wow, you have friends while you're being selected? That's good. Most people aren't friends with the selectmen.
And I think when Scott was here, and I'm not gonna take away from Bonnie, but I think the 5 of us work pretty well together. I really do.
We had it before.
That's my decision.
Where are we? Did you make a
So-
motion?
I made a
Motion.
motion to appoint Tim as the vice president,
I'll second that.
It's the vice chair.
vice chair. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm just like, can we put these all in one envelope? These are all
It's up to you.
6.
Discussion?
Oh, sorry. Any discussion?
Nope.
Sorry. We'll go ahead and vote.
Are you okay with that?
Sure. I'm here to serve the town. I don't care what capacity I do it.
So we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm abstaining.
So I'm going to make, so let's go ahead and do the approval of the minutes. And then I'll comment about moving some of the stuff around here. So has everybody had a chance to read the minutes from the January 13th meeting? No? Well, you would know. Tracy, have you?
Yes.
Tim?
I did, but being as I wasn't here, I'm
Oh,
abstaining.
that's right. Okay. Mike, did you?
I did, yes.
So if everybody is fine, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Somebody want to second
I'll
that?
second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll
Actually, I'm
abstain.
abstaining, never mind.
Okay. So you have 3 ayes. So you want to send that down to be signed? Please. So we have minutes from, non-pub minutes from January 6th. Go ahead, finish. What's your question?
So did you not,
I'm abstaining from the minutes vote because I wasn't here for the meeting, so therefore I can't say whether or not they were accurate. I'm not saying that they were not, I'm just saying that, yeah.
just making sure my
Yeah.
notes are right.
So we have minutes from January 6th non-pub. Someone would entertain a motion to, I believe we want to seal these minutes for 5 years, so if anyone wants.
I'll make a motion.
So Tracy's making a motion to seal the non-pub minutes from January 6th for 5 years.
I'll second it.
after. All those in favor? Aye.
I'll abstain.
Tim?
Oh, aye.
Thank you. All right, so I just want to make a note on the, under the old business, we have budget and warrant article discussion. I just want to put that to the end because that's going to take up, so I'm going to move that down after Article 14 or item 14 here. So I think we can go back. Anybody have any issues with doing that? Because that's going to take us a while to get through that. So we have a signature action for right to know. So this looks like, now we sign right to knows. We have another signature item, Local River Management Advisory Committee nomination. No idea what this is.
John Mullen dropped that off today.
One for Scot Ferguson. Yeah, let's see what it says. Well, it says, gentlemen, my appointment with the Cachiko River Local Advisory Committee expired last summer. However, I have continued to act as the chair of the committee and wish to officially continue as a member through the completion of its river management plan development. I would appreciate your support in my reappointment as a representative of the town of Middleton. I have been a member representing the town since 2018 and have been its chair since June 2020. I am attaching my application for your review and approval. Local River Management Advisory Committee are, which is LAC, L-A-C, are the key to the local river management role for each designated river. Each committee plays a vital role in protecting the river and its shorelines. LAC members are nominated by the municipalities and appointed by the Rivers Management Advisory Committee. Members represent various interests and backgrounds, including local government, landowners, business, conservation, and recreation. So someone would like, I would entertain a motion to nominate John to be the representative for the Cachiko River Local.
I'm gonna make that motion.
Thank you.
That was John.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so, signature. You don't need these. So if you want to do it now, I'll give it to Tracy. Good. Perfect. So under old business, we have the number 9, it says chair and vice chair, weekly, tabled from 113 meeting. I
Yeah,
think this was something that you were I'll take that. I'm going to just give it to Tracy. You don't need 3 signatures.
I think it'd be a good idea for the vice chair and the chair of the meeting on a weekly basis to discuss what's going on in town.
And I get that, and I'm not necessarily opposed to that. However, I'm just like, we're a board of 5, so I'm just trying to figure out how that works, Tim. Just, I guess trying to get because obviously you wouldn't be making decisions, and I get that. So is it for items to talk at
Exactly.
at the
At the select board meeting.
select board meeting? Thank you, gosh, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. However, we're all busy, so I'm just trying to figure out how we would fit that in, and I don't know what anybody else's concerns or comments would be about that. So I'll open that up for discussion for other people to talk about.
I am not in favor of it.
Okay.
Transparency wise, I think we're all on the same playing field, and I don't know, it just seems, you could just add things to the agenda and talk about it. I don't see what the benefit is.
Fair enough.
Okay. Mike, you're,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
Bonnie, your comments?
I just joined, so.
I know you did, but you haven't, you're board of 5 now, so your opinion matters and counts, and and whatnot, so your thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with Tracy, I think transparency and
Okay. Mike, back to you.
So I guess my question would be for Tim on this, and like Roxanne said, that if this was put on the minutes, what would be different from having you guys meet to having it put on the minutes before?
Nothing. It was just literally what's called to make sure that we're both up to speed on what's going on. So in that case, what's called, there's something on the agenda. So for whatever reason, say Roxanne missed a meeting, all of a sudden an emergency came up and she had to miss a meeting.
Yeah.
So the vice chair would know what's going on with, so if she had something that she wanted to put on a meeting later. So literally just to kind of make sure that.
I get what you're saying, because it seems like when we have like a budget committee meeting, there's issues kind of everywhere with people not getting back and forth, and
like I said, the idea is that, so we've all seen other committees where for one reason or another the chair has to miss something.
right.
And the vice chair has to step in, and then the vice chair might not be fully aware of all the things that are happening or all the things that need to be communicated. So the idea was just to make sure that communication was there. But like I said,
I'm not opposed to it, but
I will say though, the chair is only to direct meetings. The chair is nothing else but that title to maintain
I
all direct
agree.
meetings.
So what I'm gonna say is I would recommend that this item get discussed when a new board gets elected in March. We're a month and a half away, or 2 months from that. So then I think that the new board can say, this can be brought forward and it can be discussed, and the new board can say yes, no, whatever. So that's
Sounds
what
good.
I would say, given where we're at right now. That would be my recommendation. Is everybody good with that?
yeah. And like I said, I agree with Tim on it as well. Just with everyone in this last year giving up their positions and not enough communication throughout the boards.
So we're gonna jump down to item 13 from the fire chief. So I have. Where is it? So the fire chief sent me an email, and he has, make sure I give you the right quote. He sent an email to the BOS today. Can you take one pass along, please? Thank you. He is looking to expend, and he'd asked about this I think at the last meeting or whatnot, is having the doors repaired on the fire department. And so he is looking to expend, that's all. He was looking to expend the $3,176.72 out of the capital reserve for the new addition CRF, which has over $14,000 in it. So I think what we need to, obviously, just need to have a motion to make, to go forward to spend that money, if you also choose to.
13, 14,
No, 14 is,
There was how much in the cap in the?
currently there is just over 14,000 in that line. He wants to do the overhead door repairs and upgrade to the, expend from that CRF. He was emailing it over, so I'm not sure what that is. I can ask him about that.
The what part?
The extension fee.
Intent extension.
Yeah.
So, and I can speak on behalf of that because I know what it is. I believe that antenna extension is for the remote garage openers in the ambulances and the fire trucks, because they're not picking up. You actually have to drive it into the parking lot and put the windows down in the ambulance to put the door, open the doors and close the doors. So I'm pretty sure that antenna is just a booster for that.
So the total looks to be expended out of here is $3,176.72.
I have a question.
Sure.
My name's Valerie Burke. The capital reserve for repairs on the firehouse, is that a separate capital reserve from the truck that they want to buy?
Yes, yes. Yep, yep. Because that one will go before as a warrant article for the town. And that we'll be discussing that when we get to the warrant articles, which we move down to the bottom because we got a lot of them. So. So. Am I looking for a motion? Is anybody willing to make the motion? No motion?
Is there supposed to be windows on firehouses? I have no idea.
Not to speak on behalf of Chief, one of the reasons why he wants to do it is because he wants the public to be able to come and see what we have and what we're doing. It goes both ways. I mean, you see a lot of fire stations now with windows, and that's what it's open to the public, where ours is pretty much sealed up.
Well, I don't think it's just necessarily that. I think there's been some issues with the doors, is that they've had to have them come in and looked at compared. But also, I think the idea is if we're going to replace them, we want to put windows in there because the idea is that we would have people in there per diem during the day, and there are no windows at all, I think, in that fire station. So some amount of light, that will allow some amount of light to come in there. But it's not to, we're not looking to replace the doors because they have windows, it's because they're having issues with the doors.
Okay.
So on that station, we only have two windows. There's one on the side near the shed, and there's one out back that
so
faces the back of the Crowens' property.
There's no light coming into the front of the building. So, but again, it's
I
not.
have another question.
Sure.
Does that go out to bid? Like, is a process being developed for bidding on city projects, like over a set dollar amount? Or is that just one company? Like, they did it with the trucks, they did it with the repairs. What's the line gonna be? You know, like, I get bids on my house if it's over $2,000. That's just my house.
Yep.
You know,
We can certainly throw it back to him and say we're requiring you to get additional bids.
Only because
Yeah.
it's just business. Like,
Yes, no?
Across the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I can do that, I can reach back out to him, and have him come back with 2 additional, or a justification as to why this and no other bids, I guess.
Yeah.
Would be, yep. I can certainly, is that what everybody wants to
Yep.
do it? Okay. I will
I
reach-
think it was fair is fair where we
Yeah.
made the highway department get a second quote for the truck.
All right, I will
I
reach
think
out
the
to him.
board should make a policy on like a set amount, like, you know, is it small enough that just getting it done is worth getting it done, or if it's, you know, higher than a dollar figure, then we need 3
Yeah.
bids to put in there to protect the town from discriminating against another business or
Yeah.
fair trade by looking at all these different people.
Yeah, given where it's not an emergency,
Yeah,
that's, yep,
yeah, the snow's not going in.
that's right. So I will reach back out to him regarding that. Item 14, that's actually part of the warrant article discussion, so you can just combine that with, under warrant article. So we will jump to the cell phone tower lease. Tracy, what did you
Let's
find
table
out?
that for next meeting.
Okay, so you want to take,
Why we get information on that?
Yeah, we need more.
so that, that's right, so you weren't here last week, so we got an email in the BOS email.
That's all you know.
It's about they want to buy out our
Yes.
lease, so.
I
and
guess that was
don't
gonna
know
probably
if
know,
it's-
so.
I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. So Tracy was gonna look into whether, what it means, I guess. Table until,
Could you explain that a little bit? I
Yeah.
couldn't really hear what you were saying.
The cell tower, we get money, it's like $1,200.
Yep.
We have a company that reached out to us offering us $280,000 to essentially buy the lease, and they would, I'm imagining put more, telephone companies on it, so. I don't know, we'd have to do out the long-term money to see if it's beneficial, or why would they be doing that? They'd be making more, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think as part of it, what I read there was they'd be buying it up, but we would still
Get a percentage.
Percentage of what's on the tower. So, yeah, so Tracy was tasked with taking a look into that and seeing whether it was feasible, or, you know, what, maybe, you know, whether we should maybe do it, not do it, or just give us the facts and so we can make that decision.
Yeah.
So, okay. So, I'm going to go to public input right now because we have the budget and the warrant articles to go over, and that's going to take a while. You're more than welcome to stay, but if you have any, if you have anything.
Comments. Some of our activities with the vehicles in the town, the police cruisers, the fire truck was supposed to go up, not the fire truck, the old dump truck was supposed to go up a bit. When we were talking about the trucks at the highway department, Jamie said there was only 3 full-size. There's 4 full-size trucks. One was supposed to go a couple of years ago for auction and it never did, or for bid. And now supposedly at least 2 of the cruisers are gonna go up. Anything on them? Are they going out for bid? Are they gonna trade them?
So, so I don't know if Tracy, you can speak to the highway as to what's going on, because she's liaison for the highway department.
Last I knew, the TerraStar was that DeFrizio was for a steering fluid leak.
Yeah, that they're gonna replace with the new one.
And that one's gonna be
But
sold.
there's 4 big trucks. Jamie said there was only 3, but there's 4.
So probably
one of them was supposed to go for auction almost 2 years ago, and it never did. Nothing ever occurred.
I just talked to them last week, and Rob's truck is the oldest. It's a 2006. And it looks pretty darn good because it's all the stainless steel. I mean, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah, there's another one. So there's 4 big trucks.
There's another one that was going out to
There's
bid.
one parked in the corner, and there's 3 in the base.
I will ask. I didn't know anyone was going out to bid.
They were supposed to go a couple of years ago because they weren't using that one because it had major oil leaks and rust. I just
So
want to know if they're going to be going, if it's going to be going for bid.
I think the idea would be if that's,
Want to get
yes.
the new one?
Well, I know when we replaced the TerraStar, that TerraStar will be
That's
done.
gonna be-
As far as this extra truck, we can certainly find out what's going on with that.
And as for the police cruiser,
Well, I was gonna say, so the police cruisers, and I don't know if, Mike, you've talked to, and Mike is the liaison for the police, but I do know, I have spoke with Scott in the last 2 days, because he said that he's been working with trying to get them all up to par, because maintenance hadn't been being completed on them, and so he's working on getting that taken care of. And I kind of did put the bug to say, well, we need to start thinking about where we're going to be going with those cruisers, the vehicles down the road. So it's to start trying to put a plan together.
well, like I said, I live there. I live right here. I've seen him. He's been cleaning them out and doing stuff in them. And I just, if they're going to be going up, I'd like to know if there's going to be
Yeah,
bids.
no, they would, if that was the case, they would, yes, it would have to, we would have to.
Bids or trade them in. one of
Yeah.
those.
So, but he is just starting to kind of figure out what's the issues with some of them are, because they do have some issues, like one of them needs brakes all the way around. There just was not being any maintenance being done on them, so now we're trying to get them back to functioning, and then figure out, do we need that many, do we not need that many, and kind of go from there,
Not really, no.
so.
And going off of that, talking with Scott on the cars, I think the old Explorer has seen some better days.
Yeah. I see that, that's gone now. I don't know.
Oh, the animal control?
Yeah,
No, that's over there.
Yeah, that's over
Yeah,
there.
there's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong back there.
So-
yeah,
But they do have an Explorer over there.
yeah.
It has a bad transfer in case it growls, but it's been doing that for 5
Yeah.
years now.
And then I know that the Milton police chief, after he got, and they had one of their cruisers get hit, and Tom had reached out to, I believe it was Rady at the time, to see if we would want to sell it to Milton, because it's already equipped as a police car and they were down one.
Can that be done? or-
They don't want it.
They don't,
Trade it.
I don't think they want it, and it would have to go to the municipal bid.
Right, so part of that is if we were looking to sell it to, say, Milton wanted it, they would want it like with the lights, you know, equipped. So I think between departments like that, you can do it, but if you have to put it out to bid, we have to strip some of that stuff. So we were kind of looking at what the options might be, and I think they actually reached out to us and asked for it, and then I think he came and took a look at it and said, you know, because he was able to find one maybe a little bit newer, a little, I don't know, in better shape or something, but it was potentially an option, but then it fell through, so. But yes, Scott is working on getting those up to par and then kind of coming up with a game plan of where we're gonna go move forward with them. So, any other?
Yeah, I can say one question. Briefly. In the past, we've always had one of the policemen or chief at the school. And Scott's not going, that he goes by once and that's it. And it's before the kids even get out. And I've noticed since, because I go down there a lot and I'm waiting for one of the 6 kids that we've got. And they started to fly through that area again.
All right, so.
I'll reach out to Scott.
Is that for the morning?
In the morning and
Afternoon, he's there every day. I drive by every day at 3:15. He was there again today and Friday.
Who was Randy?
No, Scott. I waved to him every day. He's parked up right at the church.
Yeah.
Now, one time that was Randy, it wasn't Scott, and another time it might have been, because I always go by and I wave to Randy when he's there. But prior to last week, I didn't see Randy down there once. Not Randy, I'm sorry, Scott Walker once. And I just think that should be a priority, our school and protecting those kids.
Yep, so.
And I really think that should be brought up.
So Mike will follow up with Scott on that since he's the liaison for the police department. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
How long do we have Randy left for?
This week, I
I think
mean,
he's gonna do
Last week.
he's heading to the south he's gonna try and enjoy some of the warm weather before it gets too warm down there. Because he will be back for the summer, so.
Are you gonna have any kind of little reception to thank you for building us up?
We did have one at the prior Board of Selectmen, maybe 2 meetings ago, where we thanked him publicly, and yes, we did, so.
Oh, right, there's a lot of people.
Any other questions, comments? So we're gonna get ready to discuss the budget. Because we need to give numbers to the budget committee so they can make their decision on what they're gonna make their recommendations. And we're gonna go through the warrant articles.
How many warrant articles are up?
Right now, how many do we have that are gonna be out there? I think there's like 26. There is, 25.
That's much better.
Well, that's 25, and that doesn't count probably the first 5 that are the operating budget. So there'll be over 30. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. But, yeah,
Like, you know, what we're talking
you might want to bring your lunch to town meeting when we go. Okay, so with that, any other comments, questions?
I will say that you don't have to bring a lunch because I'm sure the rec will probably be supplying snacks and drinks.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
We do have a meeting Wednesday night, but that will be depending on the weather.
Okay. So, if everybody's ready,
Well, before we do that,
yeah.
um,
You want to discuss? Yes, okay.
do we want to use the non-public or discuss it right now, whether or not to pay somebody mileage?
So what?
Oh, to pay mileage?
Yeah.
We can. I don't know. I
That was
guess.
our new,
I'm not talking about a new person.
no, our new, that was for the deposition, right?
Yeah.
Is that this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
which would be across the board because we'll have other people going.
So is that something we want to do? Okay. Originally, that wasn't part of it. That's why I just wanted to confirm that that's something we're doing. I know that Kim had a question about it as well, so.
What?
Kim had a question about it?
You had a question on whether or not we were paying mileage for
Right.
people to go to depositions.
Right, because that was sent
Right.
in and I didn't have an answer on that at that point.
Okay, so we're good?
Yeah.
Does everybody have their budget pages?
No?
No.
Are we moving on, or are we discussing that?
Oh, we can discuss it.
I think we need to vote on it, right? Because we have, we're waiting for money, correct?
Yeah, because I did
So we'll make
also,
a motion then along with paying an hourly rate. So someone needs to make that
Right.
motion.
question on the hourly rate real quick though. Are we paying travel time too? Like if they left Middleton at 8 and got down there and then got back in Middleton at 6, does that hourly rate cover travel time? Because that sheet that was turned in, I was told it's everything. Driving down and coming, as well as his deposition and coming back. I mean, I'm not questioning people, I'm just asking.
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you paid them for their day, and it got extended till 6, which is 2 hours or 3 hours after, are you paying her trip to gas mileage?
But mileage
It's
is
like a
different than the
stipend.
hours
Mileage
of
is
driving.
Right, so are we paying travel time plus mileage? Or are we paying just mileage and they're only being paid while they're doing it? Or are they getting paid?
Are they always going to Concord? My
Well, for
thing,
this specific one, I would think yes, they would be only going to Concord, but, you know, I mean, depends.
Like I said, I mean, it
Going in the
just,
future, it could be any.
if we're paying them for their travel time, then does it make sense to pay them for mileage as well?
I agree. So you need
one or
some-
the other.
Yeah.
So kind of like my job, I'm salary, but I can put down mileage if I want to, but if we're paying the treasurer to go to her salary, and then she gets a stipend to go gas mileage.
So I think
Same
what,
money.
right, so I think the question is out there is, and I agree, so do you, you're either gonna pay mileage or you're gonna pay the travel time? So you just need to make a decision, is it travel time or mileage, and, you know, so it's whatever anybody thinks is probably the most fair. I don't know what one would be.
My question on that, or my ask would be, I think there should be an address. I've never, getting POs every day, I never, for mileage, don't have an address of where you started, and I think it should always be the municipal address to where they're going, and that should be written down somewhere.
How many people do we have for this?
But, okay, so-
Potentially?
Yeah.
5.
so I guess, I think.
I mean, not just for this one thing.
So, right, but this is just
If we're
this one
looking at,
instance.
I understand that, but we have to make sure that we're setting precedent because
No, I
whether it's
agree.
the budget committee or the planning board or
No, that's what I'm saying.
anybody. And that's exactly what we're doing on.
Right, it's the decision is gonna be across the board,
Are
so
we paying mileage or are we paying travel time? Are we paying
Right.
both?
recommendations.
What's mileage up to, 0.69?
No, it's actually went higher, I think it's now.
No, I think it's 0.69. I just got the email.
Do you guys want
It
to see
was
this paper
0.67.
that's in here, or
What's that?
Oh,
do
yes.
you want to see the paper that's in
Yeah,
here?
0.69.
I don't think it should make it, well,
No, I'm
I
not-
don't think
I'm
that's
not-
what we just,
No.
we're just making a general overall.
I've already seen it, I just wanted an address of, you know,
Yeah.
start to finish.
Yes, I agree.
Right, but how do I know what time they put in, I mean, is it up to the department head?
What?
Well, I mean, there's no way to check anyway, we won't know when somebody gets there.
Example we're talking about is the department head.
Right, there would be no, for this example,
Yeah.
there'd be no department head, no matter
Board,
who
committee.
goes,
Um,
so I guess the question is mileage or time? Travel time, there you go, travel time or mileage. I think it should be one or the other,
Yeah.
I say travel time.
travel time.
It's gonna be across the board, and
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna be one or the other, and,
Yeah.
I mean,
and to me, I just think travel time would be more beneficial.
so the motion is to pay travel time in lieu of mileage.
Correct.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, now the budget.
So,
Where is it?
You got a question?
Oh, so you guys don't have,
Actually, put me down as a post. Kim.
I don't know if I have any extra ones in here that you can, look at.
so, one opposed.
Yep.
And four yeses.
Budget sheet.
What you looking for?
I was looking, Mike doesn't have his copy, I don't know,
I
do.
Tim has his copy, Bonnie doesn't have a copy. What I would suggest maybe is,
Do you want to table it to next week?
we can't, we have to give the numbers to
Okay.
the budget committee so they can have their public hearing, so they can present their, numbers, because it's their numbers that go in the
Well, the
warrant.
public hearing's tonight.
Yes.
Well,
It's happening right now. It was posted, what, in one spot?
right, so, but I believe they have a meeting posted for tonight and next Monday night. So I just want to be able to turn around and give them numbers and say, we have them, so they have them in sufficient time to, to be able to put together a budget, so. Oh.
Okay, Bonnie, fine.
Because she's not assigned on the
Oh,
bank,
that's
she
right.
has
She's not on the
to,
bank.
because we have to show minutes, in order to get her on the checking account, we have to show minutes to show that she's been appointed as a board of selectmen, and then we can go through that process. But, so, that's, yeah. Believe me, I was working it, but they told me I had to do that, so at the bank. Okay, so. This is where we're at, and I believe I have to, I'm hoping, yes, there you have.
Yes, I know.
Oh, that must be yours.
I have that little.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the word that goes. All right, so when we met, not last week, the week before, we kind of went through this pretty quickly, but so it was in front of everybody so that they knew. I know we made some updates, but not for everything, and I think there were still some things that were in question. So, what we have, so let's start with the first section, the 4130, the executive section. Are we looking to make any changes to what we have in there for the Board of Selectmen budget? So right now I have a total for that line of $164,533.51. Is there any recommendations to change that for now, or we keep it right now as it is, and if we have to come back and revisit it to maybe, I don't know, what we could potentially alter in there or change?
Kim, do you know if we've seen a savings on our postage doing certifieds? I only ask because we got a rate increase and we're really close.
Well, it depends, I mean, we are getting, I think it's like $1.84 per certified, less than what the regular price is.
Okay.
But if you do the return receipt, it jumps it back up. So we've been trying to get, because mostly that return receipt, we really don't need it because we get, when we do a certified mail anyways, they do, it's just brown card, they have people sign,
Yep.
and then, yeah, that's it. So I've been trying to explain to Robin that she doesn't need to do the green card on the back, because that's gonna cost more. Where on the price that we're given now, if you don't do that green card, we're saving quite a bit.
So the only thing I can see in this section, and we'll just double check it, and go back and double check, is the office telephone, because that's going up 23%. That seems pretty high. So, but given, trying to get validated, right now I'm gonna leave it at that, and if we have to come town meeting, we can maybe alter that or something, you know, but. So right now, I think this section will stay at 164, 533, 51.
Can I ask what you guys discussed for salary increases? Did you go to the board? Did you?
We haven't. That was one of the things right now. There's just, I think, for most lines, most salary lines, it's a 3%, but we have not confirmed that. That was just kind of like what we did last year, but it wasn't, we have not discussed it. So let's go to the next section, which is the town clerk tax, the 4140 section. This line is, I have 34,235. So the only, in this line is up 11%. So that looks like our computer software for the town clerk, that is increasing to 4260. That's an 18% increase. Some of this stuff is contract. We have no control over it, unfortunately. And
Is Teresa's supply line come out of the executive?
Yeah.
Just, I only bring it up because she brought up the bulk stickers
Oh, those are
that ran out and were not budgeted for.
right. She could take that out of maybe work. Well, I think so, but I think we're going to a different route as far as we're not going to pay any more money with their I think they're going to make them stickers in-house, which should be a lot cheaper. So, but I think there's the workshop's resources and equipment that will be used because that didn't even get used last year. So I would stay with that. That's just me. The audit's at 15. We had a huge cost last year because of just the change of personnel and trying to get through the audit and whatnot. So 20,000 is in there. I don't know if we could potentially squeak some off of that, like 2,500, make that 17,500. I don't know what everybody's feeling is about that, because we need to try and find all the pennies we can. So, we have the AccuVote machine is going out, but we have the Voting Works machine coming in, so that's kind of for the most part is a wash. The mortgage searches are going up 14%.
Do we get any money back from returning the AccuVote machine?
No, because nobody's using them. Oh, I don't even know, it's still back there. I don't even know how we'll be able to get rid of it. Probably on junk day or something, on recycle day, maybe. I don't know. We can certainly find out, but I highly doubt
The
it.
government doesn't make you
No, because
return them to them?
I don't know, good question.
I would think they would.
But I mean, a lot of it gets programmed. It's all computer programmed and whatnot, so. So right now we're at, for this line is 34,235. Yeah. So if everybody's fine with that, we'll move to the next section for now, which is the 4150. So, what's in here is, so for salary lines, typically, I just put in here what we had done last year, which was a 3%. I don't know what everybody's feelings are about that, but that's what I did. And I'm trying to think, there was no other. The only other thing is we upped the treasurer's line because that position is being combined with the police admin, so to cover the 10 hours that are in there for the pay, And then I did put a line in here for a deputy treasurer, because, you know, we've had people do it in the past and they've not gotten paid, and that's not fair. It's $1,000, so I mean, really all we'd be looking for them to do is deposit the money at the bank. That's, you know, ultimately to cover for the day or two that the regular treasurer wouldn't be here, so, that's where the increase is coming for that. And again, I don't know what everybody's comments and thoughts are on the salary increase. We can circle back to that at the end.
Okay.
The 4152, which is the assessor section, that again is 28,816, and that's a 25% increase, and most of that is due to the assessor contract that we have with Avatar. They were a 33% increase. You know, our tax maps did go up 10%, like went up they went up $200. So sometimes we say 10%, it's pretty large, but I mean, the bulk of it is being generated from the assessing line, the Avatar contract that they've sent us. So I don't necessarily think we have a lot of wiggle room in that area, but again, anybody can throw out your thoughts and comments. The town attorney, this one, I have this line at 27.5. We've only spent 16, well, no, that's probably gonna go up a little. We've probably spent under 20,000, but I felt 27.5 was okay. But if you guys wanna change that, that's fine. Just to kind of pull numbers together. Any thoughts on that?
I'm hoping we can go down on that.
Okay. How much would you like to go down on that?
The ZBA has their own legal line.
Right, they have their own legal line, but they're way over on their legal line for right now. And there is gonna be a warrant article for this year, so anything that happens this year, but for last year, it's kind of over and done with. Yeah, so we can certainly go down on this line. I mean, we can go down to 20,000.
That's,
Okay.
I was gonna say 20,000.
Are you good with that, Tim?
Mhm.
As well? Okay, so let me just make a color coding of that, so I know that I changed that line. Hold on a second, sorry. Everything feeds one another, so I'm just trying to, so we're going down to 20, right? So then the next is the 4155, which is insurances, longevity, retirement, workers' comp. A lot of that is, well, so the employment retirement in the workers' comp, that's contract, well, the employee retirement is not, but the workers' comp is contract, that's going up 12%. It's going from 75,000 to 85,000. The health insurance is going up 9%, that's going up about $8,000. In the employee retirement, that's going up about 18. It's going up from 11,000 to 13,000. So overall, this section is going up 7%. And I don't think we have a lot to do with the police retirement. So I can tell you the police retirement is a formula. It's based off of what the salaries are in for the police chief. In the full-time staff, it's in the overtime, it's the percentage of what we have to pay in. So it's, if they work all that based on their salary, this is what we would be paying into to the NHRS. So that line, so just, and you can keep me straight on this, Tracy. So this is going to be 281, 490, 283. That's what we have. Okay. So the next section is the planning board. So this one, the planning board wanted 12.5 for their legal line. They've been trying to use Stratford Region Planning, and there is a bill that's coming through that's being paid, which there's $5,275, which is being budgeted for, and I think the $7,500 is fine for the planning board. So I think the $13,526, which is a flat amount, not no change for their budget, is good. That's just me. If anybody has any recommendations, comments, let me know.
Do you not think they'll need newspaper ads this year? Because they use money out of that line.
That's a good question. They didn't budget for anything,
Okay.
so I'm going with no. That. So it goes to the ZBA. The ZBA did not provide us a budget, so for this one, well, they had no paper. This is where a lot of the newspaper ads grant came in, is on the ZBA. So this one, it was $250. I did up it to $750, even though it's almost $1,200. But everything else was kept flat for them. We didn't get any recommendations, so their legal line is, but I know Tim had said they're putting together, well, we have a warrant article for to address that. So I think that's why the idea is to keep it flat, is what it was. So this section is $4,351. Is that what you got?
Yep.
And so, let's see here. So the next section is government section 4194, which is the electricity, the cleaning, the septic, the water testing, the repairs for the different buildings, supplies, the generator, the heat. So this line shows I have it showing as a total of $45,310.19. So has everybody had a chance to go through that and look at the recommendations that were made for the electrical repairs? So I did go back and check, and the amounts that are in column E are based off of 12 months. So I thought that was, because that was a question that came up. I think when we went through this last time, and I did verify that it was 12 months that was in there. So, and we've separated out the building maintenance which is the cleaning versus the maintenance facilitator. So we can see those lines separately. And I don't think this one I didn't put in an increase for, because we had just changed but it could be, we could put in we can circle back to that, because it's a salary line. So the next section, property liability, no control over this. It's a 9% increase. It's going from $58,000 to $63,000. Section after that is the police, 4210. This one has a total overall of $320,924. So it's a 5% increase. Is that what?
Yep.
Again, these were all salaries we talked about with the police chief, as compared to what Randy had recommended, and Scott was good with these numbers that we have in here for this year, knowing that by the time we get somebody in here, it's only going to be 3/4 of the year. So we're good right there, and that police secretary line reflects a $20 amount for 52 weeks. So that is what's recognized in that line. So we might have to adjust that.
Which one are we on?
We are now on the 4210. Well, we're just finishing up with the police, so we're on the 4215, which is EMS and Med.
Okay.
So,
We already talked about the 27% increase in the salary.
Oh, the police chief salary?
Yeah.
That was what we hired.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we hired.
Yeah, 27%
Yeah,
increase.
so
Okay.
that we're making no changes to that.
Yep.
No increase for the year. And then the rest of them were just recommendations from Scott, and he,
Right.
with the idea that it's going to be like maybe for 3/4 of the year, and that would not be a full year's worth of salary, but he knows we have to find as much money as we can. So, and then, so are we all good with that section for now?
Mhm.
Okay, so the next section is 4215, which is the medical and equipment. Everything was flatlined on this except for the EMS shift pay. That was increase of 17% from 60,000 to 70,000. And that's because of the idea that we will have more per diem coming in during the week, days. So that's that one. So I have a $91,000 on that, total for that section. Okay. The next section is the 4220, the fire. This one is 80,000, so it's an increase, overall increase of 3% from 78,000 to 80,741. And I think that 3% is just on the member expense line. And that's, again, we can discuss that because that's a salary, quote unquote salary line. We view that as a salary line. So we'll circle back with that. If nobody has any other questions, we can circle back afterwards if you have any questions. The 4240, the code enforcement officer, this one we show going from 11,879 to 10,194. The biggest decrease in that is the software that we didn't pay anything out of, so I just removed that line. The salary lines do have a 3% increase. Again, we can circle back with that when we're done with all the other sections. 4290 is emergency management. We have $500 in that line. That's just flat. Stratford dispatch was 4299. We would charge almost 4,000. Scott did comment to me that they're doing a 10% increase. If they do a 10% increase, we have in here 5,500, so that should more than take care of it. And that's what we had last year budgeted, so I think that we're safe there. The next section is the highway, 4311. This overall show it going from 359,634 to 366,686. Overall increase of 2%. Like that. For some reason, did I do that? That's right. And again, we can talk about the salaries afterwards. That's that one. So the next section, which is government, which is 4316, 4319, 4323, which is the street lighting, the school diesel and gasoline. Those numbers are just used from what the school has off of their budget, so that's all that gets plugged into there. So, because you'll see that there's a 12% increase, but we get all that reimbursed back to us. Tonnage, unfortunately, is a 6% increase, is going from 183,000 to 194. Pay a lot for garbage. The hazard waste, this was 1,000. We ended up spending like 19, so it's budgeted 2,000 for this year. And then the recycling, we only ever put one in there, but we pay out 500, and so I budgeted to put 500 in there. I mean, we can certainly change those if you want, but right now this line is at $217,600.
That garbage line,
Yep.
I know our contracts come up.
Yep.
And I know Scott was working on it when he was here. Do you know if he's heard from anybody or?
No, well, no, I mean, he wasn't working on it other than the fact that he made us aware that it was coming up. No, because I think Waste Management had reached out to us and wanted to see what our contract was. And I think they were gonna maybe put together a bid. So one of us will have to work on that because soon, because I think that we have to, if we're gonna change, we have to give them like 60-day notice to pull out from the
When
current.
is it up?
Huh?
When is it up?
I think it's up in June or July, but, so we need to put that as a follow-up, Kim, on, in the next meeting.
I know Waste Management wanted us to give them figures of what we were paying now.
Well, they can, right.
We didn't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, they can also go into our annual reports and see how much we paid out and paid out, so. So that's something next week we follow up on as far as assigning that to somebody and having them start to look at those numbers, look at our current contract, see where it puts us for timeline as to when we have to make a decision. So the next section, the 4414, the animal control we have just dollar placeholders in all these lines, except for Cachico Valley, we have $500 in there, and I think we have to pay some dues, or, we didn't pay any this year, but I think the idea is we have to in order for them to take any animals that we, potentially could be bringing down there. The 4415 section, which is our donations, like for, so that would be like the VNA, the Community Action, Greater Wakefield. So right now, we're going from 7,000 to 8,000. The difference on that is the increase.
It's 500 for the rec.
Yeah, I don't know why that's.
American Red Cross went up.
Yeah, the American Red Cross, that's what they're asking, yeah. That's, okay, thank you. I'm like, that and the rec was when it increased by 500. So that's going up overall 14%. It sounds high, it's $1,000, but still, it's every penny counts. The next section is the welfare, 4444. Overall, this is only increasing 1%. And that includes a salary increase of 3%. Again, we'll address all the salaries at the end. Let's see what else here. So then we get into the milfoil. We'll just skip over that. We don't budget for anything that is just showing on here because we did actually spend a little out of that line. So it's on here because we wanted to see everything that was paid out. So the next section, which is the beach maintenance, the patriarch and other culture. This is decreasing from 22 to 18, and that decrease is due to the 500 going up to the rec, going up to that line. So that's the 1,800 that's on in this section. The next section, 4616, conservation. They're looking to go from 2756 to, well, their recommendations were 2801. The BOS has in there is 2101. They were looking to, they were looking for the lake assessment program at 840, but I believe we're paying it 500 for those two programs. At least that was the recommendation. If we look and see, we only paid 390 and we paid 415 out. So again, looking for every bit of money we can get. And then that takes care of, so then if we're gonna jump down to the 6,010, because all the other stuff in between, if you have it on there, is CRS, and we're not gonna talk about those in a moment. Employer Social Security, this was based off of what we paid, it's 31,000. Employee Medicare, that's 10,000, because we were overspent this past year. We didn't budget that properly last year. And then, I don't care about the miscellaneous fees. So that line, those totals of those is $41,000. And so now I'm thinking maybe the employee Social Security might need to go up. They're gonna pay out more. And then Medicare, I think the Medicare. So, thoughts, comments? Because right now, given what we have, I believe we're about $40,000 over the tax cap. And that probably includes, let me just see what this is. That includes the warrant article, so we maybe have some room to make some changes on the warrant article. Maybe we can go to the warrant article and take it from unassigned for this year and go from there. So given all that, if we make no changes to this, let's discuss salary lines of the ones that would change. So we know we're not changing, like the police chief's not changing, the admin's not changing, the admin clerk is not changing. So it's basically all the other salary lines. Right now we have built in there, or I have built in there 3%. Comments, questions about that?
What is the COLA?
We have built in there 3%, which is what we did last year.
But I mean, what's the state?
What state?
Isn't the state like 3.6 or
Oh, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
Budget committee last week, that's why I'm asking.
I don't know. I mean, I would say, given our current environment, and I don't mean budget-wise, but I mean, given our current, we only gave 3% last year, and I suspect that the increase, the COLA last year was probably more than that, but we didn't give more than that. We only gave 3%. So, huh? Go ahead.
And that we gave the COLA last year.
We gave 3, well, we gave a flat amount.
Yeah.
We typically don't do like 2.86 or whatever, we
Yeah.
typically just do a flat amount. So, just saying what anybody's thoughts are, and what you think that should be.
So on our salary, I'm okay not taking an increase, you know, like I said, a couple of years
Just
ago.
pennies though, so
Yeah,
what do you want to do across the board, because that's
Right.
just pennies.
Right, yeah, that's like $500. It's actually less than $500. It's like $400. It's less than $400 really. So, I mean, I think the idea is to just get a general consensus. We need to come up with a flat amount, a flat percentage, and agree to that. And then I think we can work through the warrant articles to stay within the tax cap. So,
Do you have it built into your program where you can change the salary lines?
I mean, not right now. I mean, I could go in here and change each one. I would have to change each one to show it, and whatever. I mean, but I don't think it's gonna be an overall amount, a huge amount.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you're talking, say it's, because your biggest ones are going to
So
be.
you have highway.
That's gonna be your biggest
Fire.
one. Your, yeah, let me get to, let's go right to there, let's see. This overtime. Plus if you go to highway, because that's what you said as well. There's highway. So if you did. So just taking your highway and your fire, so that's like $244,000, you know. You're talking, in 3%, you're talking $7,300, maybe $7,400. Because it's 244, 734, and I just times it by 3%. So, and if you did 2% is $5,000. So you're talking a matter of $2,000 if you went down to 2% or even 2.6. So I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know. I mean, what everybody's thoughts are on that.
Oh, it's always a sticking point.
I know it is.
What's the difference to go to 4?
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Let me just enter this. So 4. I don't think it's going to be much more difference. I'm just using those. It's going to be higher because there's other departments, but that's where the biggest bulk is. It's 97. So you're going to go up $2,600. So you're under $10,000 overall. Or if you went to, if you go to 4%, it's like 10,000. But really, you're only going up 25 because if you did 3, so you're only looking for an additional $2,500 or whatever. So that's the thought. But if I need to, in order to have final numbers, we just need to make this decision tonight. So I don't know everybody's thoughts on that.
No, speak up.
Yeah, speak up. Yes, yay, no, yes. What's your recommendation?
I mean, normally I like to go across the board with the town and the school. For the budget committee that, because we did not have information
From the,
from the school.
oh, right.
They did not give us percentages, they just gave us overall numbers and no reasons or anything for how they got that or anything. So we
How much did the salary line go up, do you know?
The salary line, we went with the deficit. Theirs went up. I don't recall now, but it was a lot because of the students, the teachers unionizing.
Well, it is a side conversation, I think, but I think the increase for the union part of it is on a separate warrant article, am I?
Yes.
And then, but that's in addition to what was already an increase on the
Yes.
salary line, which was pretty big.
But we got no information,
So,
except for here's a number. So we went with last year's budget for that.
so we'll throw it out there. So Bonnie, I'll start with you, not I'm singling you out. So what would you go for a recommendation? For a percentage?
I mean, I'm good with the 3.
Mike?
I'd say 3, but I wouldn't even be obliged to maybe go, hate to say this, 2.5, but, you know, just not knowing what the school budget is, I mean.
Okay, so I guess we as the town cannot be worried about the school budget. We need to worry about the town budget.
No,
And
I'm
we
only
need
bringing
to-
that up because I like to go straight.
No, and I get that,
So-
but my point is, you know, I mean, and they have a much bigger budget to work with than what we do. And I think part of what we've been trying to work towards with bringing more new people in and whatnot is to try and be somewhat competitive, and I don't say competitive, but to be somewhat, well, I don't want to say competitive, but
At the same time, you can't beat the stone though.
Huh?
We don't have the money, we don't have the money.
Sure, right. We need to find it.
So we also, so instead of finding the money, we have to find other ways to attract them too.
Correct. So, thoughts on that? As far as, all right, so what is your thoughts, Tim? as far as-
2.5.
2.5. Tracy?
I'd be 3. I mean, honestly, I think of like Teresa Joni, our secretary, or Kat, who's leaving, but we have other people. I feel like we've adjusted some positions and we haven't adjusted across the board. So, majority rules. I wouldn't go any lower than 3. That's just me. And I don't get a 3%. I get a 2% every single year, no matter what. But, yeah. I just don't want to lose anybody else.
So with that said, anybody comments on that to Tracy's comment? So we're at 2.5?
We're at 3, isn't it? Because,
Well, I think-
Bonnie, you said 3, Mike said 3.
I said 3 to 2.5.
Right,
Okay, so we're at 3?
we're at 3.
Okay. I have to change my spreadsheet. Okay, so given that, I just want to make sure. So is everybody else good with all the other numbers that are in there?
Yep.
Okay, so with that, just want to double check this. Right, so we're at an operating budget of $1,934,594.31. So that's what I'd be looking for. Oh, wait a minute, actually, I need to take a step back. So the only line, Tracy, or the only line, everybody, that I didn't put the 3% in for was the facilitators line. So do we increase that 3%? Seems how we adjusted that this year, past
We're
year.
doing everybody, we have to do everybody.
Okay, no, but I mean, well, but we made agreements with others that weren't going to get, because not every salary line is getting 3%.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I just want to
Some are
make
getting
sure.
27, so,
Okay,
yeah.
so, no, but I just want to make sure that,
But that's something you voted on.
I agree. I'm not saying I
If
didn't.
you've mentioned it a couple times, I just want to say that's something you voted on. We also have
I
several
agree.
people, 14%, 14%.
Yes.
so, but we're only doing,
I'm not saying, I'm saying what's called, that not everybody's getting 3. Some people getting more, some people.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, but but the maintenance facilitator would be at a 3%.
Yes.
Okay, all right, no, all right, so let me go back to that. So, 99, fix it over here.
Roxanne, what was that final memo, 1 million?
I know, I'm gonna change it because it's gonna change by slightly. So I did that now. Yeah, so now, say it again.
Your, from your legal line, that
Oh.
went down to 20,
Yeah.
so you'll gain 7,500.
Right. No, I already put it down. Let me just go up and double check that. So we put that down to 20, yeah. That one was updating automatically. So now we are going to be at a operating budget of 1,934,672.31.
$1,934,672.31.
Yes, I need someone to make a motion that that's what the operating budget would be for the town.
I'll make a motion.
Somebody want to second it?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Huh?
We can say
It's like a money tree.
Sit all five of you guys.
reluctantly, yes. So, okay, so now we're gonna go through the warrant articles. These have been updated. So take one and pass it along. So, I need to, hold on here.
Tim, you have a copy for Kim?
Is there another copy?
For Kim?
Yeah, actually, you can take that one. I can look on the computer. No big deal. Warrant articles. I got revision, so. Okay, I'm gonna show all the. Okay. So we have, the first article is to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $200,000 for the purpose of road construction and paving of various roads in town. This is non-lapse in appropriation pursuant to RSA 32:7, Roman numeral 6, and will not lapse until the road construction paving is completed or December 31st, 2029, whichever sooner. And that would be a tax impact of 55 cents per thousand.
And this is what we usually have, right?
Yeah, this is the normal one, so I just need someone to recommend the article, recommend the article.
I'll recommend.
Second,
I'll second.
all right, any discussion? So all those in favor of this article, state aye.
Aye.
So Kim, that'll be 5-0. Well, actually, I can update that right here.
Yeah.
Article B, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be added to the Highway Vehicle Capital Reserve Fund previously established. It's a 3% tax impact. So the idea is, I just need someone to make the recommendation, second it, and then we just vote.
I'll make a recommendation.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The next one, Article C, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $13,000 to be added to the reevaluation capital reserve fund previously established. Tax impact of 4 cents.
Did that go up at all?
It did, because we had $10,000
$10,000
per year is not going to cover the reval. So 13 should get us to where we need to be when it gets reval in the next 5 years.
I recommend.
One second.
All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Article D, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be added to the self-contained breathing apparatus capital reserve fund previously established as a 1 cent tax rate impact.
I'll recommend.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Article E, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,000 to be added to the natural or man-made disaster capital reserve fund previously established. This is less than a cent on the per thousand.
I recommend.
I'll second.
Any discussion? As none, all those in favor? Aye. All right, so this is the new one that the fire chief has put forth. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter in a 10-year lease purchase agreement in the amount of $515,000 for the purchase of leasing, purchasing a fire truck with $140,000 to come from the fire department replacement vehicle capital reserve fund, $150,000 to come from unassigned fund balance, and to raise and appropriate $31,000 through taxation for the first year's lease. This lease will have an escape clause. Should this article pass, Article G will no longer be considered. And this is 8 cents tax impact. So,
Has he got a quote for that truck?
yes.
Did he get multiple quotes?
I think I can ask that question.
I believe he got multiple quotes for it.
Here is sorry, I meant to pass this out. Sorry. So this was from this government capital, this must be the leasing agency that he went through to get the price for how much the lease would be. So, and I know the idea, and we talked about this, is that we would sell the old fire truck. Once we got the new one, the old one would be sold, and any money, the proceeds that would be brought from that would be applied to buy down the lease purchase. So.
Correct me if I was wrong on this part, that if it was to go through, that money that we put aside, the $25,000 would go towards the payment towards that.
No, so this is saying, if this article passes at town, then Article G, which is the one that we typically put in every year, which is $25,000, would not be considered because Article F was passed and we no longer need Article G. That's why it says in there, should this article pass, Article D will no longer be considered. Because the idea is the amount of money that we're putting into that capital reserve every year will actually go to pay the lease. So this article, the money that goes into the CRF, would not be there each year, it would be going towards the lease.
To the lease, correct.
Yep.
Okay.
And then once that truck was paid off, we would start up doing the CRF again. So I can just say, someone just needs to make the recommendation, somebody seconds it, then your vote, then your yes or no is, we can have the discussion or whatever, but it's just a recommendation. It's not gonna be saying, we're not putting it in, whatever. It's like, we can say, because he's coming to us and asking us to put this in.
Yeah.
So we as a board are obligated to put it forth to let the townspeople decide that.
I'd make a recommendation. My only thing is I work for the fire department, so I don't want it to be.
I'll make the recommendation.
All right,
I don't want to be biased decision.
Wait a minute, Tim is making the recommendation.
second.
All right, so Bonnie, so now the question is, all those in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
Okay,
So does that $25,000
What?
year after year get put into the operating budget?
This 25,000 right here?
Well, you're taking away Article G.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's
you're-
gonna be replaced by the lease. We're gonna pay the lease with this money.
Yeah, I know, which would be in your operating budget?
I know, I think we would have it's a good question.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you have to put it somewhere.
Right, so it may have to come in, but what will happen is whether it goes into the operating budget, then it's no longer gonna be a warrant article. It would be either operating budget or warrant article, but we have to show it somewhere. So, right, and it could be, yes, it's not gonna be in a warrant article, but
But you still need that money.
Yes. Okay, so Article G. to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $25,000 to be added to the fire department replacement vehicle capital reserve fund previously established. This is 7 cents per, on the tax rate of 1,000. So do I have somebody to recommend the
I'll
motion?
recommend.
Bonnie?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna say opposed because I'm recommending the previous one, so that's my stance on that, but I suppose I could look at it and say if the first one doesn't, then I would recommend it, so.
That's what I thought the general consensus was.
Okay, so if the first one didn't pass, then, okay, so then, yeah, okay, then that's fair. So then I would recommend as well. So
That's
what do we have?
5-0.
Everybody recommends 5-0, yeah. Okay, so let me hit save on that. The next article, Article H, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be added to the public safety complex capital reserve fund previously established. This is 3 cents impact to the tax rate. Who'd like to recommend?
I'll recommend.
Second.
Any discussion on this? If not, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor?
No.
Oh, so we have a 4? Kim goes. Bonnie, what's yours?
I'm opposed.
So what's yours, Bonnie?
I'll recommend.
Okay, so we're at 4-1.
I only look because I'm trying to,
No, well, no, it was
The voices
just,
that came
right,
out.
she wanted to know, but it was just so funny, she
being
was
controlling.
all right, so Article I, to see if the town will vote to raise the appropriate sum of $10,000 to be added to the medical equipment capital reserve fund previously established. This is an impact of 3 cents per thousand.
I recommend.
Okay, Tim, who wants to second? Bonnie. Any discussion on that? If not, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't hear anything.
If I recommend, I'm gonna vote yeah.
Okay. Well, no, not, that's, you have to just put it out there.
I
You don't
understand.
have to, you just recommend the meeting read. All right, so Article J, to see if the town will vote to raise the appropriate $28,049.70 to be added to the Highway Department Capital Reserve Fund previously established, such sum representing the amount of income received in 2024 from the cell phone tower in said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised from taxation.
I'll recommend.
I'll second.
Any discussion on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Article K. Anything in red is new for this year. So Article K, to see if the town will vote to raise the appropriate sum of $29,000 to be used to purchase accounting software, data conversion, and training for new accounting system, with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised from taxation.
What is what we have in old or?
Sage, it's not support, so what we're looking, so when we talked about this in a couple of meetings, Bonnie, we had 3 different companies come in, actually maybe 4 companies come in and provide us presentations for their accounting software, which were municipality-based. What we use right now, Sage, is not municipality-based, and it's not
Was that
really,
the person that came in?
Yeah.
one of them, yeah.
Did the
And-
PowerPoint or the presentation? Yeah.
So, so we're looking to transfer everything from our current accounting software over to MRI, which is who we decided we wanted to go with. Should this article pass, that's what we're gonna go with, is to have them come in. And so it should do a lot more, it'll do a lot more municipality accounting for us. Whereas right now, some stuff we have to do off the side and it's not incorporated. And this will also let us interact electronically with the town clerk, tax collector's office, and such, so. And the money is coming from unassigned, so it's a one-time deal. Going forward, we'll have to have the software support, but we have software support for our current, so that will just be replace the Sage.
Do we know what the software support usually is?
I think it was around the same price as what Sage was.
I just hate to lock into this and have it go up like, they strong arm us and we're paying
They,
19% again next year.
they're probably one of the bigger users, municipalities that use, providers to different towns in New Hampshire. So if they're gonna strong, you know what I mean, they're strong, and I think it kind of goes by your size as well and stuff, so. So I'm looking for a recommendation.
I recommend. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Article L, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $15,000 to be used for ZBA zoning board adjustment legal litigation fees with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised from taxation.
I'll recommend.
I'll second.
Any questions, comments about this? Discussion, I should say? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Article M, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $6,000 to be used to purchase GIS mapping software with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised by taxation. This is the CAI, which all our surrounding towns have this. This should help anybody who, like abutters, if they're like anything like where the zoning board, like getting the zoning board abutters list, and anybody going on, they can actually see.
All residents will have access.
Yes, yes, it will, all residents, and you don't have to come into the town line, you'll have access from your personal computer. So Tracy, who seconds?
I'll second.
Who did it?
Tracy did it and Bonnie seconded it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Tim, Mike, I didn't hear anything, so I'm just, Article N, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $5,000 to be added to the existing expendable trust fund for the purpose of treating milfoil and other exotic aquatic species with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised by taxation.
Who proposed this article?
Kate.
Okay. From the Conservation Commission?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I believe it's like and I think to me, it was like a one-time, so typically anything I look at as if it's gonna be a one thing, we try and take that from unassigned, so it's not something that affects our tax rate going up and down, so.
I'll
that's-
recommend.
Okay, seconded by
Second.
Tracy. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Article O, to see if the town will vote to raise and appropriate the sum not to exceed $25,000 to be used to equip the highway truck with plow gear, body, and hydraulics with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised by taxation.
I'll recommend. I'll second.
Any discussion on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Article P, to see if the town will vote to establish a municipal building improvements capital reserve fund for the purpose of improvements to the municipal building and to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in the fund, with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised by taxation. Furthermore, to name the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend from this fund. So, the reasoning behind this is we have no capital reserve fund for the municipal building. And thank goodness we had ARPA funds this year, otherwise we would have been scrambled looking for $20,000 to replace the heating system. So $10,000 is not a lot, but as we know, just putting up a 2x4 is probably like $100. So I think this is just kind of to establish this so we would have some money in case we need to do something over at the building, should something come up, a price, and again, the money's coming from unassigned, and we're trying to establish this so that we have funds going into the future. Do I have, what is this?
I'll recommend. I hope we are good for a while.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Tim, you good?
Yep.
Okay. Article Q, to see if the town will vote to establish a police gear and equipment capital reserve fund for the purpose of purchasing police gear and equipment, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $10,000 to be placed in fund, with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance. No amount to be raised from taxation. Furthermore, to name the Board of Selectmen as agents to spend from the fund.
I recommend.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Article R, to see if the town will vote to establish a fire gear and equipment capital reserve fund for the purpose of purchasing fire gear and equipment, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $20,000 to be placed in the fund, with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised by taxation. Furthermore, to name the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend from the fund. So we don't currently have a CRF for fire gear and equipment. And I know just to gear for one fire is, I think, 34, it's like 4,000. We don't have enough money in the regular operating line to buy 2 sets of gear. We have one, maybe and a half. And I think it's around $4,500 to buy a set of gear. So this is, again, to kind of hopefully establish this so that we can, if we need equipment, it's not just gear like the outfit, but equipment that the fire department needs that we don't get hit with down the road, so.
I recommend. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Article S, to see if the town will vote to establish a preservation of historical records capital reserve fund under the provisions of RSA 35:1 for the purpose of preserving the town of Middleton records, and to raise and appropriate the sum of $15,000 to be placed in this fund, with said funds to come from unassigned fund balance, no amount to be raised by taxation. Furthermore, to name the Board of Selectmen as agents to expend from said fund.
So where does this one come from?
I'm putting this one forward as to try and get all of our historical records, to have them be preserved and to have them get them up online and be available to anybody and everybody. We do $3,700 in the town clerk's tax collector section each year, and that pays for like one book. And so the idea is to be able to do the number of them and to have it available and to have it electronically available for the town. And, for people who do genealogy, for people who.
Yeah, so why didn't we discuss this previously?
It's one that I was putting forward, and again, we don't have to, we can take
Were
it
you
out.
putting it forward as a board member or as a private citizen?
It wouldn't be as a private citizen, because then it
Well,
would
as a
have
board
to
member,
be-
shouldn't we have discussed it?
We could have, I will say, I've given you these warrant articles previously, I've given them to you.
Right, we haven't
So-
discussed it publicly.
No,
That's
and
what we're
so we
supposed to
can
do,
have the,
right?
right, so we can have the discussion. So if we want to pull it, we can pull it. And that's fine, I'm good with either way.
I'm good with letting the voters decide. I'll recommend.
Okay.
I actually like the idea. I'll second.
All those in favor, opposed?
I'm opposed only because I don't like the way it was brought up.
So Mike?
I'd say I would oppose it.
Okay.
But
That's fine, you don't need to explain, you're fine. Article T, to see if the town will vote to not maintain any roads identified by the state of New Hampshire as private roads, class 6 roads, and roads subject to gates and bars.
Where'd this one come from?
This is coming from when we met with Fred Alfrey in the prior thing that we needed to.
How?
In the fall.
No, but what's, I looked up at the minutes on that one, and we never discussed having a warrant article for that. The only discussion we had was not to maintain his section of the road, and that warrant article was voted down 4-1.
Right, but we, technically, the selectmen don't have the authority to decide the roads that get maintained and such.
I agree with you, but like I said,
It was my understanding that this was going to be put forth and that might not got fully in the minutes, but my understanding is that this was going to be put forth as a warrant article in March.
Not my understanding, and when I looked at the minutes said that the only warrant article proposal was about maintaining that portion of the road, and that got voted down.
In the past, we talked about classifications of different roads, and according to town insurance, they would not cover any town trucks or equipment going on those roads. So is that still in effect or not? Does the insurance company give you a hard time on
They don't.
what they will cover?
No, because, well, I wouldn't say, I don't know, because fortunately, we haven't had to put in any claims. So,
Is Mr. Alfred the only one that is affected by this?
no, it's anybody who lives on a private road, a class 6 road, or a road that's subject to gates and bars.
Piper Mountain,
So,
Where?
Piper Mountain, you know, yeah.
Are we currently maintaining those roads?
You know, Piper Mountain is
not that I'm aware of.
Not
But
really.
this is
Whereas
a blanket to
whereas
take
this
care
one
of
we're
any
talking about is.
one-offs that happen in the.
I understand what you're saying. I just, like I said, this is another article I don't believe was discussed properly, and for that reason, I'm against it.
Well, we're discussing it tonight, so I guess maybe, again, like the budget, we're discussing the budget, overall budget tonight. We discussed it before. It's been handed out. The budget number's been handed out. The warrant
I agree, and
articles
that's,
are
like I
handed out,
said, publicly,
Okay,
we're supposed to
that's
discuss this stuff, and again, I'm
so
against it.
I'm looking for a recommendation, if there's gonna be one. Again, it's whether we recommend or not, it's just to put the article out there so we can say yes or no, we recommend it as individual.
I understand what you're saying.
No, I'm
However,
saying-
my simple point is the fact that this was something that we should have discussed prior. It's never discussed in an open forum, so therefore I have a problem with it.
Do we have a recommendation?
Recommend.
Second, somebody? All those in favor or opposed?
I'm opposed.
You in favor? You in favor? You just need to be yes or no, it doesn't need to,
Either way, it goes to the voters.
Yeah, I'm opposed, but I
okay,
know I
you
don't
don't
have to
need
give
to
my reasoning.
explain, so are you for it, Tracy?
Yeah, because I voted for it.
Alright, so 3-2. Article U. Pursuant to RSA 72:39-A, to see if the town will vote to increase the elderly exemption allowances to $40,000 for ages 65 to 74, $50,000 for ages 75 to 79, and $60,000 for ages 80 plus.
I recommend.
Tell me what they are now.
I don't have them in front of me. Everybody was given this from Robin a while back. I don't think I have it here.
Well, she might not have been given them.
No, given she's
New,
but
so yeah, so-
I don't have it here in front of me, Bonnie. Sorry, I mean, I can get it for you. So Tim recommended, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Do we know how much money this is? Like a ballpark?
Not off the top of my head. But I do know, like, with these, she provided the area towns and what they were.
No, I definitely
Yeah,
agree with
I
it.
don't-
I'm
yeah,
just
I don't-
wondering how
it
much
was-
on the other end.
Well, no, if you looked at the, part of that backup that, Robin gave to us, it shows on there what the total amount qualified for the exemption and such. I don't have that again, I don't have that in front of me, so. But everybody had it as well. So Tim recommended, Mike seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Mike and Bonnie?
I said aye.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear you, sorry.
that's okay.
You're being awfully quiet down there. Pursuant to RSA,
I'm going to abstain from that one.
okay, so that's gonna be a 401, I'm guessing, I'm not sure if I did that right. Okay, so Article V, pursuant to RSA 72:39-A, to see if the town will vote to increase the elderly exemption income limits to single of 35,000, married 50,000, and asset limit 75,000.
I'll recommend.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Bonnie?
I'm gonna abstain as
Okay,
well.
yeah, that's
because I
fine.
have enough-
Article W, pursuant to RSA 72:28, RSA 72:28B, and RSA 72:29-A, to see if the town will vote to increase the veterans tax credit to $750 for the standard operational veteran tax credit and all veteran tax credit, and increasing, and increase the surviving spouse tax credit to $1,000.
I recommend.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Again,
Aye.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I kind of figured.
Tim, you second that?
Yeah. Article X, to see if the town, this came from Kate, to see if the town will vote to add and merge
Thank you.
the following town, let's get town property to the existing town forest under RSA 31:110 to be managed by the Town Conservation Commission under the provisions of RSA 31:112, Roman numeral 2, and to authorize the placement of any proceeds which may occur from said forest management into the conservation fund, which shall be allowed to accumulate from year to year as provided by RSA 31:113. This is lot 20, map 26, lot 31, approximately 8.5 acres on Moose Mountain Road. Map 26, lot 31, sublot 1, approximately 8.1 acres on Moose Mountain Road.
All right, so this came from the Conservation Commission?
Yeah, came from Kate.
I'll recommend.
Okay,
Okay.
Bonnie. Somebody second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Who seconded?
Tim.
Tim did. Bonnie, then Tim, out of 5. And then Article Y, to see if the town will vote, this came from Kate as well. To
I figured
see-
as much.
To see if the town will vote to increase the size of the Conservation Committee from 3 to 5 members.
I'll recommend.
Okay, somebody wants to?
I hope they get the members.
Yeah, you, well, supposedly, she sounds like, it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, given that, we were good. Thank you all for trudging through that, I appreciate it. I will get this over to the Budget Committee, and then it's up to them to have their public hearing, then to give us the numbers back. We have a date, I'm not sure it's on that back room, is when we have to get them back from them because they need to be in the DRA. And then, once they're in the DRA, I believe we only have like 3 days to post the warrant. Post them in the posting, in the voting places. And then, from that, I think then we have a week later, we have to have the town annual reports produced. So, a lot going on. Any other comments, questions? Thanks for the public for hanging in there. Appreciate it.
Thanks to all of you.
Any other comments, questions? If not, I'll look for a motion to adjourn at
So moved.
8:30. So Tim, was that, who seconds it?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.